Welcome to the Eye of Power podcast. I'm your host, Tom Dardick. But this podcast is not about me. It's about you and your power. It's time to claim yours. There's a kind of pain that doesn't show up in metrics or performance reviews. It's the pain of feeling invisible, even when you're surrounded by people. Today, let's talk about something we all crave, but rarely get: to be truly seen. Have you ever been in a meeting or maybe out to dinner with a bunch of people and you felt like nobody wanted to hear anything you had to say? Maybe you've been in a situation where very good friends or family have treated you that way. Maybe you've been in a situation where people you thought you were connected to and liked and respected at work treated you this way. Isn't it strange how often this might happen? I mean, even with people that actually do care about you. What if most of the struggles that we have in work and in life aren't about what we can do or how well we can do it, but really how well we are connected to the people we do these things with? People think that supporting means fixing, advising, or motivating. But often when somebody's helping you or when they're trying to fix things for you, they're really seeing things through their values and their lens. This brings up the idea of what's called the values mismatch. And probably the best way to remember that is you can't lead people if you see them only through your values. We really need to cultivate the ability to see through the lenses of other people, because being helped is not the same thing as being seen. Helping somebody is not the same thing as seeing somebody. True seeing is relational, aligned, and liberating. To be seen is to be recognized as you, not as something that somebody else wants you to be. This is one of the key elements that we use in the protocol at the Mentor Machine, where we really try to develop mentors who can spot the values beneath the behaviors and learn to ask rather than assume. And also, probably the most important is to support without ego, to learn the skill of being able to keep the ego. That we talk a lot about that, what the ego means. A lot of times what we do is we think we are our ego. We think the ways that we picture ourselves and build ourselves up relative to other people or think highly of ourselves. Um, the things that give us status are defining attributes and really are the things that make us who we are. And while there's perhaps a little bit of substance to that picture, more often than not, the ego is, because it's there to help us, it's part of our mind that helps us um, survive and not be thrown out of the, let's call it the genetic pool. Um, it's a mechanism. It's a thing that helps us, but it is not us, and it really can get in the way when it comes to either uh, having be, either being seen or really allowing ourselves to be seen, or building the capacity to truly see others for who they are through their lens. I'll give you an example. I was coaching a person who was a manager, and he would be very transactional with his people. Get very upset when things didn't go the way that they were supposed to go, and the people didn't particularly care for his style. Let's put it that way, because to them all they saw was criticism and no real care or effort put towards them as people, just whether they did or didn't do something and how well or how poorly they happened to do it. And through some conversations we had over time and some specific actions, let's say, um, this person learned to uh, just put in habits of not necessarily checking on the things that people were doing, but how they were doing and asking questions about what they saw. And over time, his people started to see him as more of somebody who actually cared about them as people, and the stress levels and the relationship levels of the particular place that we're talking about here was transformed pretty radically. So much so that the person was promoted and has a great career as a result of his ability to start to see people for who they are rather than what they happen to do for either him or the organization. Because seeing others in the way we're talking about really is a leadership superpower. To reach the highest levels of leadership, I'd say it's pretty much mandatory. People perform the best when they feel seen and when they feel like they're truly appreciated. You can't really appreciate somebody if you don't truly see them. If it's just a transaction, it doesn't really strike to the core. So when they feel like you get them as a whole, and then you give that kind of appreciation, it's a lot more positive than just an offhand sort of remark might be. Most underperformance is actually not really due to incompetence, it's actually more due to misalignment, where the person thinks they should be doing something this particular way or in this prioritization order, and it doesn't align with the expectations of those around them. We find this transforms a lot when we do job benchmarking for people, where we define what the key accountabilities are, how they're measured, what order of importance, get the stakeholders, in other words, the people that are involved in that particular, that person serves, whoever's in that role serves, get them together and be heard in an agreement so that we get a concordance about how the person would optimally perform. And so that alignment creates the conditions where somebody can feel that they can fully express themselves in that role, provided you have a good match between the person and the role, which is the other huge piece of that particular process. The job benchmark process is getting the right person in that seat, of course. But it's never an exact match. So it's always you get the person and the role, and then we optimize between those two, making sure that the person has the leeway to be able to grow and express the things that are naturally strong and positive about themselves. And we want to make sure that that has as much leeway as possible to be expressed. And so that's an important factor. When leaders tend to see other people through their own values, well, through the values of the other person, some really amazing things happen. Engagement rises, resistance drops, and transformation begins. And this is really what the magic of the mentor machine is all about. When we establish the protocol, what we're doing is we're creating a gravitational pull for all the participants to become certified mentors who share this key ability, this ability to see others and appreciate others for who they are rather than the transactional, what they happen to be doing or what I think they should be doing. When you see others, you allow them to express themselves, you get their full effort. You're not just managing a person or evaluating a person. Because you can't scale impact if you don't scale alignment. And here's one of the cool things. When you start to see people clearly, you help them see themselves clearly. And that's when you get real change. So if you're feeling unseen, you're not alone. If you know somebody who's struggling, maybe what they need isn't advice or even something to be done for them. Maybe all they need is to feel like they are seen. And what would that look like? What would that look like to you to give that gift today? So I'll give you a brief challenge. This week, notice somebody. Really see them. Ask a question without trying to fix something. Let them speak. Let them feel known. Ask one more question. Check assumptions about them. Ask their opinion on something. Try to draw them out. And just listen, not to do anything with it, just to listen. I guarantee you that if you do this on a regular basis with the people around you, it won't take long for you to see quite a transformation. If this idea resonates with you, I want to offer you an invitation. The Mentor Machine isn't just about leadership, it's about reclaiming the human experience of growth, and we do it together. So learn more at thementormachine.com, or even better, maybe share this episode with someone who might need to hear it. As always, we're always trying to offer something of tangible benefit that will give somebody the chance to make a positive change right here and now. So that's what we're here to do, and I hope you take this opportunity to do it. And I'd love the chance to see you. This has been the Eye of Power podcast with Tom Dardick. I'd like to thank you for listening. I'd also like to thank my brother, Scott Dardick, for the music and his music production. If you'd like to reach me, simply email Tom at dardickcommunications.com